What's up, guys? Today we're gonna do a stucco repair on at a postal office. So this is gonna be pretty much stripping wood, and stucco patchwork, and a repaint. So what you're gonna need for this type of project, this is your respirator, a coverall, auto filters. You're gonna need a compressor. You're also gonna need a needle scaler. A needle scaler is pretty much this tool and one of these. But they're both the same thing. It just depends whatever you want to use. What's easier for you. So first things first is start covering the windows, and we're gonna take off these awnings from the front just to have a clean area to work at. We're gonna next install scaffolding. You can see from the stucco that it's in really bad shape. The previous painters, I mean, most of them were just doing maintenance, so they never really went down to the actual base to remove the falling stucco or the calcia buildup. There's a bunch of cracks from really small to extremely big, stuff that's just completely loose. And that's one of the reasons why we're going to use this scaler. So this would be a lot faster using a pressure washer to get most of the big stuff off that's loose, and then using a sandblaster or one of those what do they call them? They pretty much blast cold air. I forgot what it's called, but if I bring it up, I might put it in the description. Who knows? But the point is, though, we're gonna pretty much go through the building piece by piece and make it so that anything that's loose comes off. The stuff that doesn't come off, what we're gonna do is gonna try to blend it in, trying to hit the edges so that we don't have to do that much of a repair work in terms of stucco. We're trying to blend it into the new surface that we're going to be working with. So this type of tool also works with metal, and this location is right next to the ocean. So one of the things that I did in this video was hit the edges of the metal that we're working with. Reason being is because a lot of rust actually starts building up on the edges. So what ends up happening is if you don't take that off, whenever you apply your next coat of primer or your next coat of paint, it's going to start to peel off. And everything that you pretty much did in terms of prep work will count for nothing. So, in this video, you can see that this stuff just completely comes off. So, there's really no point in having a painter just come and paint it. The whole point is for you to have a new clean surface. Um, and a lot of this stuff, who knows what they use? It could be lead. It could have some sort of different chemical. You don't know what type of things are underneath that coating and what they use. So, this is why one of the reasons why I mentioned one of the first clips is to have your respirator, some gloves, some knee pads. Knee pads just for your knees, but you want to have a respirator with a glass screen or a plastic screen so you don't get any of that in your eyes. And you want to change your filters often when they start getting too dirty, or at least the covers. In areas where the the needle scaler can't completely take off the loose stucco, or where it's too a little bit hard, I like using my 5-in-1 to just knock off all that stuff out. Um, since since we're in this clip, since we're trying to make it a clean surface and having less, it's just like this is kind of like just like sanding a wall or a piece of wood, right? The whole point is for you to clean down to the bare wood so that you don't have to patch a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I'm using the scaler here again. Now, this is just the first pass. I'm going to come back again after I'm done with the 5-in-1. Because, I mean, if anybody has ever done this sort of work, you know that it literally just depends on what side, what angle you hit it. And once you hit it a certain, so yeah, as I mentioned, this is it's pretty much it's time consuming, but the whole point is to have it clean. What I'm gonna do now is just let you guys watch the well, never mind. Before I do that, I want to show you guys something else. So there's gonna be areas in this sort of work that the scaler just doesn't put that much work in for obvious reasons. But you can see here that I'm using my 5-in-1. And what I'm doing is just scraping off all the big stuff that just peels off. You know, a lot of times when you get this sort of work, you have calcium buildup. So whenever you get a spatula or any sort of flat tool, I mean, it'll you can literally just put your spatula inside and it'll completely peel off. And this is one of the ways that you can tell that, whether the surface was prepped right or not. A lot of times people think because it's brick, it doesn't need prep, but that's not the case. Whenever you get a brick surface, you always want to pressure wash it to get the efflorescence off. Uh, I mean, there really isn't a point of sanding it, but if you could at least give it some sort of buff with any sort of like sandpaper or maybe just a random orbital, something to get that ingrain, then you'll get a better adhesion to it. Um, when you're dealing with commercial properties, they don't really want that much prep. Typically, what they want is just a pressure wash, sur the surface pressure washed. Maybe you could add some bleach if you got some mold, right? Or some TSP as well to get it nice and prepped for you. One of the things that we're gonna do on this project is we're gonna put uh, Weldcrete. This is a cement glue. It's meant for you to be able to patch on the old surface so that the new stucco or the new cement is pretty much has a good adhesion to the old surface. Now, this also works as a waterproofer, so it's gonna make it so that because we're right next to the ocean and there's literally breeze every single moment apart from the daytime. Whenever it's night, you're getting a bunch of breeze, you're getting a bunch of dew in the morning, so it's constantly wet. So the whole point of this is just to give it as much of a barrier as you can to the outside world, right? In terms of the environment. And we're using this product because we can now patch on top of that. Um, I'm pretty sure you guys seen it a lot of times whenever you do a plaster. Well, it's typically all the time, but whenever you do a plaster wall and or a Venetian plaster, I'd say you always add that as a base coat. That way so that it sticks on really hard to the new drywall. In the past, they didn't do that. What they would do is just use those little strips of wood, and then they would smash inside like a base coat. And but it's technically the same thing. The only thing is that plaster, at least in terms of now, you have to have that pink glue on. Well, the same company makes that the one we're gonna use. It's blue instead of pink, and it's for exterior. I'm gonna go ahead and so I'll talk about that once the next clip comes off. Until then, we're good. Here you can see the comparison of the removed stucco, where it's actually held on really good to the surface versus the completely removed stucco. It's nice and clean. You get a clean surface, and as I mentioned, you're gonna get areas that are pretty stuck on well, so you don't got to take that all the way down to the bottom. Whenever you work in this sort of project, you want to always have it covered because you will make a lot of dust and get a lot of dirt. So you, at the end of the day, you really want to clean up. And this is what I meant by how bad the repairs would be, where we're gonna have to repair them. Right here, we're um, we're stripping this sort of these doors because they have it's lead, so we don't want to sand any of that. We'll sand eventually, but we want to take most of it off with the paint stripper. Here we have it primed and patched. Now we're not going extremely prepped because there's only so much you can do with that sort of old with all doors and windows, but we want to make it so that it looks good. And here's that glue I was mentioning. So I could have used a bigger roller, but this was just meant for the repairs. We're gonna go at once we're done with this, we're gonna give it another coat, but this one with a really thick roller because what we want to do is make it so that it looks old. We want the stucco to look old. We don't want it to look new. So that one's gonna block a lot of the imperfections and it's gonna give it like a rustic look. And right here we're gonna pretty much patch a lot of cracks. So I'm just giving it the area on the areas where we're gonna do some repairs. Most of it doesn't come off anymore. It's really held on tight. It's just a lot of times whenever you do this, it's just things that are on the surface. So here you can see that I'm just adding it on again, like I mentioned, trying to make it as thick as possible. And in the next clip, I'm going to show you what I guess, how it would look like after we give it the second coat. So that's with the second coat. You can see we did a lot of repair work as well on the corners. You can see more patchwork that's needed. Here you can see we finished the front, and I'll show you a clip of how it looks like. We're right on the corner of the front of the building, so we're using our scaffolding. And again, we're doing every section that you see is pretty much a scaffold section. We try to sandblast, well, to stipple with the needle scaler per scaffold section, and then glue and paint. Uh, Here you can see the windows are finished, and all this is happening while we're getting deliveries inside this post office. So it's kind of hard for us to do the whole wall completely. We have to go in sections, and yeah, where we got our shop and the paint we're using super paint. That's per the client's request. And here's the front of the shop, and it looks pretty good to me. So, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I wish I would have gotten some more videos, but it's kind of difficult when you're actually working. You can't record all the time, but I'll be sure to record some more. Catch you guys later. All right, so that's pretty much it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you guys all the links to the tools that I use. They'll be in the description. Um, I got more videos coming out, a lot of more how to join different unions. Now, I want to make this clear. It's not easy to join one. I'm just giving you guys information on how to apply or how to join or how to sign up to the waiting list. Um, at the end of the day, it all depends if you know someone or if you're lucky and maybe someone quit for a certain company and they're looking to hire. It's a little bit difficult to to help you guys because I'm not involved with any union or affiliated in anyone. Okay, but however, I do got friends that are in it. Uh, I'm just trying to help out people that maybe in the past didn't know about this, just like I did. I didn't. If I would have known, believe me, I would have. That's the first thing I would have done after high school. But that's not the case. A lot of times, that's not what life gives you. But to anybody trying to get in, give me a message, send me or put a comment in the description, and I'll look into your certain local or your certain union, and if I figure out a way that anybody can sign up for it, I'll make another video. Maybe it's different in other states. I'm just trying to help out. So yeah, like, subscribe, and share. That'll help me out a lot. Catch you guys later.